Hey, what's up guys and welcome back to Anime King. And today I'm going to be giving you part 15 of What If Naruto was from the two greatest clans. Remember to get this one to 200 likes as usual, share this to all of your friends in your social media platform, and also stay in tune for What If Naruto was a god amongst man over on Anime King 2. I already posted a new episode of What If Naruto was a deceitful god, so go ahead and check it out and enjoy that guys. And I posted a new episode of What If Naruto was sent to the Marvel world on this channel, so go ahead and enjoy that as well guys. Remember, if you're new and this is the first time hearing my voice and you enjoy the videos on both Anime King and Anime King 2, go ahead and click that red subscribe button and become a part of the Anime King family. And thank you for all of your help and support, and remember to comment down below and tell me if you're new. I'll be replying talking back to all of you. So yeah, without further ado, what do you say we begin this new episode? Start the intro.
I think the girls with their nails done now. Girls with their nails done. I think the girls with their nails.
So, the last time we left off, the battle started as Temari faced off against Shikamaru. Shikamaru had her on the ropes and he was about to win when he captured her in Shadow Possession Jutsu, but he gave up saying that he doesn't have enough chakra. But the daimyos were impressed by his strategy in the battle and able to play her out like that, so they were impressed by that battle. As Naruto was watching, and Samui came up beside him as she was going to fight next, as she told Naruto what would happen if she killed his friend, as she then walked off without saying anything else. As she went down there along with Samantha, as the both of them started a battle, the both of them started to trade blows at first, until Samui decided to kick it up a notch, as Samantha also activated her Sharingan, until Samantha started to get a drop on her, as Samui then released her bloodline. The Raikage told Minato that Samui has a storm release, as Samantha was getting blown back and defeated by that attack, but she said that she will never give up. As she stand her grounds, she placed a small genjutsu on Samui, but Samui broke out of it. But Samantha was already on the wall as her entire body danced with lightning, as she did her new technique, as a lightning dragon surrounded her as it started to form. As she poured out her chakra, she then steered through the wall, running down, as Samui dashed forward as well, enhancing her lightning around her, her storm release. The both of them smash into each other with a boom, shaking the entire place as dust and debris fly everywhere. When the smoke and everything clear, the both of them were knocked out for the count, as the match was a draw, surprising everyone, but that match was really entertaining. The next match was Naruto vs Yujito, as she told him not to pull his punches. The both of them going down there as they were trading blows after blows, as Yujito started to enhance her fist with the Nibi's chakra. Nibi told her to be careful and end this quickly because if he possessed the Mokidan, he can suppress her. But Naruto was smart as he was putting chakra at the points where she was going to strike, so he wouldn't be affected by the Nibi's chakra. As she started to get angry because he was blowing her back, he also started to insult her, saying that she was weak, because Naruto wanted her to lose her edge, but Nibi told her to calm down. As she then flared up her chakra as she attacked Naruto like a prime animal. As Minato asked the Raikage if she's under control as she exploded. The Raikage told him to not worry because she has control over her, Biju. As Naruto looked forward to see the two-tailed cat standing tall above him, he started to release fire here balls as Naruto speed through hand sign, as trees then erupted from the ground, surprising everyone. As the Raikage was furious, but he didn't let it show, as he couldn't believe this boy possessing the Mokitan. As Nibi was being suppressed as she tried her best to hold out, but Naruto was pushing her back with his chakra. As she was pushed back into the seal, Yujito collapsed down after, as she was on her knees as Naruto appeared in front of her. She told him to go ahead and finish it, she lost, but he simply tapped her on the forehead. As her body finally gave out because of her tiredness as he caught her, as the medics took her away, the entire crowd erupted in cheers to know that Naruto Uchiha, the son of Minato Uchiha, he also possessed the Mokitan, as everyone was cheering. The daimyo of the fire country was also cheering as well to the other daimyo, seeing that they found another person to possess the Mokiton ability. So yeah guys, that was basically last where we left off. You guys can switch across the place and check it out for yourself. So what do you say we begin this new episode? We start this episode with Naruto as he was in the hospital halls. Right now, Kankuro was facing off against Dosu, as it was their match after his. Naruto just checked up on Samantha as he was currently heading back, when he came to a stop as he noticed a room door open, as he knew who was in here. He then decided to step inside. As he made his way inside, he noticed she was already awake. She was just sitting up, not really looking anywhere, just looking out of space. As her eyes then fell on him. "What are you doing here?" she asked, as Samui was in bed with the bandage around her. "Oh, I'm here to see if you're okay," Naruto said. She looked at him curiously. "Why?" she asked. "We're not friends. We're not from the same village. Why would you care about my well-being?" "I guess I don't really know," Naruto said. "I'm just asking. So, are you okay?" "Well, as you can see, I am still breathing," she said. You took it lightly on my friend, because you thought you could win easily," Naruto said. "I guess not," said Samui. "She was stronger than I thought." "Yes, she is," Naruto said. As he was smiling a bit, Samui narrowed her eyes at him. "Are you in love with her?" As Naruto was taken back by that question. "What?" he said. "It is strange when you speak of her. You smile. Your mood seemed to happy up instantly. That is why I'm asking. So are you?" "No," Naruto said. "She's my friend." "Friend, huh? Then what is that look in your eye?" "I don't know what you're talking about," Naruto said. "You can deny it as you will, but one day you'll have to come to terms with your feelings. You say we're not friends or anything, but the way you speak to me, it's like you're giving me advice. Why is that?" Naruto asked. "I don't know," she said, as she turned her head towards the window. Ignore me now?" Naruto asked her, as she didn't say anything else. "Fine. I'm going then," he said, as he turned around and started to walk away. "Don't die," she said, as Naruto stopped. Yet again, this girl just seemed to confuse him. "What?" "I just say don't die. It would be a shame to see someone as talented as you die. After all what you did against Yujito." As Naruto narrowed his eyes at her. "What are you talking about? You were in here. Did you even see the match?" "I was there," she said. "How exactly?" Naruto said. "I saw your battle, and that's all I have to say. You can go now," she said. As Naruto sighed as he left the room. This girl is really weird, he thought. Upon exiting, Naruto passed by a Anbu. The Anbu gave him a single glance, and something was rather strange. Naruto couldn't tell what it was, but something was just off about that Anbu. He stopped and then turned. The Anbu was already gone though. What was that, he thought to himself, as he went back to the arena. When he arrived back there, he saw that Kankuro won, as Dosu was on the ground, with multiple puppet appendages wrapped all around him, stopping him from moving, and another puppet to the left opened up with many spikes in it. It seems like Kankuro threatened to put him inside and kill him if he doesn't give up, as Kankuro was declared the winner. "How is she?" Sasuke said as Naruto entered the finalist box. "She's fine," Naruto said, as he told Sasuke he would go and check on Samantha. Sasuke already did, and she told Sasuke that she was fine, but Naruto insisted that he check as well. "I guess this is it," Naruto said, as Sasuke was next to face off against Gaara. "I wonder what you have in store." Seeing that Samantha pulled out that lightning dragon at the end. "I wonder what have you been learning?" Naruto asked, with a sly smile. "Well then, you will just have to see. Finally I'll prove to you that you're no better than me, even though you might possess that ancient Keke Genkai, and also already one step above me with your Sharingan. I will still be your better," Sasuke said, giving him a smirk, as Naruto held out his fist as both of them did a fist bump. "Just make sure you make it to the finals. I want to kick your ass here and there," Naruto said, as Sasuke smirked. "Well then, we'll just have to see about that." Sasuke was then called down to the arena, as everyone applauded just by Sasuke walking down there. "It seems that the people of this village really do love the Uchihas," Temari said, as she just watched. As she glanced around and she saw Baki, everything was still calm. The signal was about to be given soon though, because it was time for Gaara to fight. Gaara shunned Shin as he appeared in front of Sasuke in sand. As Genma looked at the both of them, Are the both of you ready? He asked. The both of them gave a small nod. Well then, begin, Genma said as he flashed away. Well then, Hokage, said the Kazekage. It seems that my son is finally ready to fight. And one of your prized Uchihas after all. It's a shame though that he didn't get to fight your son. That would be a truly remarkable battle. As Minato only smiled. Well, let's see how he can do or fare against Sasuke. As the Raikage just grunted in response, as he also wanted to see this battle as well. Meanwhile, the Fire Daimyo looked down at his daughter, as she wasn't paying attention to the battle. What, not enjoying yourself? It isn't that, Dad, she said, as he noticed where she was looking. He then turned and looked around, as she was looking towards the finalist box, where that boy was leaning against the railing. Oh, is that your new friend, Naruto? Wait, how do you know that, she said. She then looked at her guard, Keo, as he gave a nervous chuckle. As she glared at him a bit, she then turned back to her father. What are you complying, she said. Oh, I didn't say anything, he said. Well, I would love to meet Uchiha Naruto. He's a prize. Remarkable fighter after all. I would also like to give him my congratulations. Congratulations? As her father had a smirk on his face. As she then noticed the two other daimyos had a frown on their face. Wait, did you make a bet on him or something? As the daimyo just smiled. Meanwhile in the arena, Sasuke was dodging sand swipes from Gaara, as Gaara sent a wave of sand towards him, but Sasuke blinked away with tremendous speed as everyone in the arena gasped. Sasuke was truly fast, as he appeared behind Gaara, but Gaara was ready as a shower of sand exploded from the ground. Everyone thought that shower of sand ate up Sasuke, but when the sand cleared away, nothing was there. The ground then exploded under Gaara, as Sasuke was right in front of Gaara's defense. Sasuke did a spinning kick, slamming his feet right under Gaara's chin, as that knocked Gaara straight up in the air, as Sasuke then blurred away again, as he then flashed past Gaara, as Gaara regained his senses in mid-air, as he waved his hand as a shower of sand plamped down where Sasuke was, but Sasuke flipped away. Sasuke then smirked, as he flicked his finger and suddenly everyone saw a reflection of a rather thin wire, as Gaara then felt the pressure as the wire wrapped around his body and holding him tight. Sasuke then speed through hand sign. Fire style, fireball jutsu, he said, as he sent a massive fireball on the wire that rushed straight up to Gaara and exploded. As Temari watched in shock, no one was ever able to get behind Gaara's defense like that, and so easily. How strong are these Uchihas, she cursed. When the smoke cleared, Gaara wasn't there, instead there was a husk, as Gaara replaced himself with the sand. Suddenly, the ground under Sasuke's feet exploded outwards, as Sasuke was sent barreling away. The sand then tried to crush him, but Sasuke had to roll out of the way as he flipped onto his feet. He then pushed several shurikens as he threw all of them, as he then jumped away dodging more. He then pulled some kunais and threw them as Gaara was standing there. As Gaara's sand stopped all the kunais, but then the sand exploded from the explosive notes on the kunais as Sasuke leaped up in the air. As he went through hand sign, as Naruto watched Sasuke curiously. Lightning release. Sword of destruction, he said, as he released a bird made from pure lightning that soared down towards Gaara. As Gaara raised a powerful defense of sand, as the bird smashed right into it. But the bird then faded, as Sasuke flicked his wrist, as the bird appeared right behind Gaara, caught him off guard. It then did the unexpected. It exploded in a shower of lightning, as Sasuke watched Gaara send sailing away. As Gaara hit the ground a few times, Sasuke landed and delivered a combo as he knocked Gaara right in the face. As Gaara's face started to crack, as Sasuke then knocked him straight up in the air, as he delivered a lion barrage combo. Unending, he slammed his heel right into Gaara's stomach, as Gaara was sent spiraling and hit the ground a boom. As Sasuke landed, watching this, Naruto had a smile on his face, as Sasuke had surely gotten stronger. Gaara slowly picked himself up, as the cracks in his face started to fix up back. The sand helped him with that. I guess it's harder than that to break through your defense, Sasuke said. Let's try this first. As he vanished, he then appeared on top of the stadium wall, as he went through hand sign, as lightning started cackling on his hand. You taught him that, Kakashi? Said Guy. But let's see what he can do with it. Did you say something, Guy? Kakashi asked, as Guy's face faltered. As Sasuke dashed forward, tearing through the wall, as Gaara brought up his sand defense, but Sasuke thrust his arm forward, infusing more chakra into it. "Shidori," he said, as he teared through the defense, as he then felt a liquid drop on his arm. But the sand then erupted in spikes and he had to jump back. As he looked to see his arm in blood, he smirked. Everyone waited for Gaara to come out of his defense, but he didn't. They then heard a bloodthirsty scream. "What is this? What is this?" his voice echoed out. "My blood? My blood?" As Gaara sounded like he was going crazy. Naruto then turned as he faced Temari. "Is your brother okay?" he asked. As she didn't say anything, but she had a worried expression on her face. This wasn't supposed to happen now. Meanwhile, all of this was going on. Kabuto, who was disguised in his envoy uniform, was talking to a snake from Orochimaru. What? The Senju boy? Yes. He's also half Senju. His bloodline. He possessed that thing that can ruin all of this. The Mokiton. I want you to go and attack Uchiha and Naruto. I want, when I start the invasion, which is going to be right now, for you to attack him first. Send a whole group on him to take him out of the equation first. Because if we don't do that, he might stop Gaara transformation. Alright, sir. When will we begin? Right now. Gaara is about to lose it, said the snake. Send the signal, Kabuto. Kabuto nodded as he flashed away. Meanwhile, in the Kage's box, everyone was enjoying the battle and watching until a massive explosion went off towards the wall as Minato turned his head to look what it was. As the Kazekage flicked his wrist and thrust a kunai towards Minato, as Minato simply tilted his head as the kunai passed him. The Kazekage then broke through the window as he extended his arms. Multiple snakes wrapped around Minato as he pulled them along with him, as Minato ripped them off him as he landed on the building next to them. As that happened, the entire Kage box was filled with smoke. As the Kazekage guards dropped them, the Raikage jumped out on the building where Minato was. Orochimaru cursed under his disguise. Not now, he was going to say. But the Sound 4 leaped outwards as all of them went through hand sign. 4 barrier formation, they said, as a purple barrier surrounded where they were, trapping the Raikage and Minato inside. As the others jumped outside of the Kage's boot. But it was too late, the barrier formed, as the barrier came around the Sound 4 to protect them as well. While this was going on, Sasuke stopped as he turned towards where the smoke was coming from, as he wondered what is going on. Meanwhile, Naruto was looking out, as he then noticed Temari, as she started to step away from them, as she leaped out of the box. As Naruto then noticed ninjas from the outside, as they all thrust in kunais, but what he then noticed, all of them had explosive tags on them. The entire box of the finalists went off in a huge explosion. Kushina and Haku narrowed their eyes dangerously as Naruto was up there along with the other kids. Meanwhile, feathers started to fall on the crowd, putting most of them to sleep, but the highly trained shinobis break out of it rather easily, including Kushina and Haku. As Kushina dread as she watched the smoke clear away, but when the smoke cleared, she saw a large wooden dome as it protected all of them. As she smiled and released a sigh of relief, Kushina was then pushed out of the way by Haku as a sword swiped right over her head, as Haku quickly flicked her wrist and thrust 2 Senbon kneels forward as the 2 ninjas collapsed on the ground. "I'm sorry, are you okay?" "Thank you, you saved me," Kushina said, as she helped her up. "What is going on?" Haku said. "Looks like we're being invaded," Kushina said, as Kakashi appeared behind her. "Yes, it's exactly that," he said. Meanwhile, Orochimaru removed his robes. "So, it's you, Orochimaru," said Minato. "I knew there was something up with the Kazekage, but I would never expect it was you. What have you done to Raza?" "Oh, that man is long dead," Orochimaru said. "Well, his death was not for nothing. I managed to trap you inside of here." As the Raikage stepped forward. "What is this?" he said. "Oh, Raikage, you were never intending to be trapped, but I can give you the option to leave. I have nothing against you, and it's gonna get quite messy in here, so if you would like, stand to the far end of the barrier so you won't get involved in any affairs," said Orochimaru with a dismissive tone. Before the Raikage could say anything, lots of giant snakes smashed into the wall, breaking it down as ninjas from the sand and the sound started raining into Konoha. Suddenly, Keiji appeared as he released a mighty roar, but the ninjas wasn't fazed by that, as they still have the numbers and he was just one tiny dragon. Meanwhile, Naruto lowered his wood dome as he noticed all the giant snakes. He bit his thumb as he ran it on the tattoo that the dragons gave him. As he jumped forward, he ran through hand sign. "Summoning jutsu," he said, as he slammed his hand in mid-air. Suddenly, there was a huge poof that covered the entire arena. When the smoke finally started to clear away, everyone stepped back in shock as a mighty dragon, its shadow covered everything below it, let loose a roar which made all of them cover their ears as Naruto was standing on top of the large dragon. "Who is it that has summoned me?" the dragon said as he looked around. "Hey there," Naruto said, as the dragon then looked up. As Naruto jumped down his nose, as Naruto looked into his eyes. "You must be the one. The chosen one," the dragon said. "Yes, if you call it that," Naruto said. "I am Naruto Uchiha. Yes, I've heard of you, from Ragnarok." "Why have you summoned me?" he asked. "Ragnarok told me that I could get your assistance when we're in deep trouble," Naruto said. And as you can see, the dragon looked around flapping its wing to see the giant snakes. You call this deep trouble," he said. "These puny little worms." As Keiji landed on the dragon's head. "Hey Silver," Keiji said. "Keiji," Silver said. "You couldn't handle these worms? Well, I wasn't the one that told him to summon you." "Well then, Naruto Uchiha, I will assist you on evaporating these worms," the dragon said. All of the sand and sound shinobis looked off in shock, as they were expecting to come deal with shinobis, not a monstrous dragon that almost, well, if it's not even bigger than the Kyuubi, and plus it's airborne. Naruto looked down as he noticed that Sasuke was chasing after Gaara, as Kankuro, also Temari, took Gaara away as they were heading towards the forest. "Keiji, I'll leave this to you and Silver," Naruto said. "It shall be done," Silver said, as Naruto leaped off the dragon as the massive dragon went over and started to tear the snakes to pieces like they were nothing. Jiraiya looked up in shock. He didn't have to summon Gamabunta, as that was well taken care of, as he noticed that Tsunade was already in actions, smashing the ninjas away. Suddenly, Darui and C landed beside the barrier as they turned towards their Raikage. "What should we do, sir?" C asked. "Help the Konoha ninjas eliminate the opposing threat," he said, as Minato looked at the Kazekage. "I did told you I came here to talk about other reasons than just watching the Chunin exams," the Raikage said, as that made Minato smile, as he now have a powerful ally in this to destroy any one of Orochimaru's tricks. Orochimaru chuckled, but it seemed like it's two powerful shinobi against one. "I guess I'm gonna need help," he said as he leaped backwards. He went through hand sign. "Edo Tensei," he said, as suddenly two coffins burst from the ground. As the both of them watched as the first and the second Hokage stepped out of them, Orochimaru implanted two kunais in the back of their heads. "Well now, Minato, how exactly are you going to win this one?" Minato simply activated his Mangekyo Sharingan as he stared at Orochimaru. As the Raikage stepped forward, as he wasn't expecting to face off against the two legendary Senju brothers. Meanwhile that was going on, Karu was doing her best as she was slicing up ninjas as she got the order from Darui to help the Konoha ninjas. As she leaped back out of the way, suddenly 3 ninjas appeared behind her. As she swung her sword round, but one of them blocked it with her own as the other one kicked her in the back as she stumbled over, nearly collapsed on the ground. The other ninja then raised his sword above their head, ready to end her life right there and then. As she couldn't stop it in time as she closed her eyes, but the pain never came. When she slowly opened her eyes, she saw Naruto in front of her. As he was blocking the sword with his own red blade, he knocked away the sword and delivered a roundhouse kick that sent the man flying off of the podium, going straight down. Naruto then turned towards her. "So I guess we're allies," he said as he extended his hand. She looked at it before smacking it away. As she got up, she was too embarrassed to say, "Who told you that I need your help?" because if he didn't came, she'd have probably been dead. As she just leaped off. Still remained the same, Naruto said to himself. He then went over towards the group. "Mom, Haku," he said. "Both of you are right," he asked. We're fine, Kushina said. Where is Sasuke? And Samantha, she looked around. Samantha is still in the hospital. I'm sure everything is fine over there with the envoys, Naruto said. But I'll make sure. As he placed his hands together, suddenly the ground underneath him started to crack a bit as 10 wooden clones burst out. As Naruto sent them in all different directions, send one out to make sure it will protect Samantha in the hospital and also make sure that Samui was okay as well. And the rest of them went off to help as well. Naruto then turned. Sasuke went after Gaara. His siblings took him. Naruto, you have to go after him, said Kakashi, as he knocked away another Sound Ninja. I fear that you're trying to release the Shikaku to destroy the village. You're the only one right now that can stop that thing with your Mokiton. As Naruto then turned, I'll deal with it, he said. He then stopped as he looked up towards the barrier, as he saw his father fighting up there. Be safe, Dad, he said. As Naruto then dashed forward, heading towards the forest. As he then noticed someone flashing beside him as well. As he turned to see it was Haku. Haku, what are you doing? He said. I'm coming to help you out. You never know, you might need assistance. Alright then, said Naruto, as the both of them headed off. Meanwhile, Kushina looked up. Don't worry, said Kakashi. He will be fine. As she just watched Minato up there fighting. As she then noticed something. That's strange. As she looked closely, it can't be, she said, as she headed off towards the tower. Upon arriving, there was Anbu station right there, as they couldn't get inside the barrier. What is going on, she asked, as they turned to see it was Hokage's wife. As the head Anbu stepped forward. Ma'am, we can't get inside this barrier, and those 4 that construct this barrier has put a barrier on themselves, so they can't be disturbed. Is that Hoshirama? She said, as she was beyond surprised. Yes, it seems like Orochimaru has used the forbidden jutsu the Edo Tensei and brought back the first and second Hokage, as that made Kushina worried even more. How far are you in getting through this barrier? She asked. We can't even touch it, the man said, as he pulled a kunai and thrust it towards the barrier, as the kunai got incinerated. I'll be right back, she said as she went off without saying another word. Meanwhile, Naruto and Haku were leaping through the forest, as they were getting closer and closer, as they could hear fighting up ahead. As suddenly, several kunais and shurikens were thrust towards them. Naruto and Haku quickly separated as kunai and shuriken embedded into the tree, as landed 5 Sound Ninjas in front of them. Uchiha Naruto, our orders are to capture or kill you. Come with us peacefully, and you won't have to be hurt. As Naruto clenched his fists, if you really think that's gonna happen, then you don't know me one bit, he said. Naruto, said Haku, you go, I'll deal with this. But Haku, as she gave him a sweet smile, don't worry, I'll be fine. Go and protect Sasuke, and make sure that thing doesn't destroy our home. Naruto hearing that smile, alright then, he said, as he dashed forth to get past the ninjas. But they tried to stop him as Haku thrust several Senbon needles forward, embedded in 2 of their arms, as their arm went limp. The other one thrust kunais towards her as she jumped away, as she landed. Come on boys, let's do this, she said. Meanwhile, at the hospital, Samui came out of her room, as she noticed Samantha standing there, bandages were wrapped around her as well, as she looked at her. As to the other room, Yujito stepped out as well, as she looked perfectly fine, seeing that her Biju has healed her. What is going on? Yujito said. I have no idea, said Samui. As Samantha looked around, it seems like we're being attacked, she said. But by who? Samui said. As she looked around, suddenly, the window exploded, as 3 ninjas arrived inside. As they stepped forward, here is more Konoha ninjas, let's dispose of them. But before they could get any closer, Woodrelease, Woodbine, as Woodbines came from the ground and wrapped them around tight, as the group saw Naruto entered. Hey girls, he said. Naruto, what's going on? Asked Samantha. Looks like we're being invaded, Naruto said, by the Sound and the Sand. The Sand? Why would they do that? Samantha asked. It seems like Orochimaru tricked them because he's up there, fighting with my dad. What about the Raikage? Asked Yujito. He's helping my dad. Oh yeah, that's the thing. We're allies now, Naruto said. It seems like we should fight and help each other. Really? Samui said. But you two, Naruto said, you have to get to safety. Yujito, you look well. It seems like the Biju healing is no laughing matter. As Yujito looked at her body, yes, I'm fine, she said. I can help. I'm going to help as well, Samantha said. No, Naruto said. Things are serious out there. You're already injured. I'm going to get the both of you to a safe place. Come with me. Where's Sasuke? She asks. The real me's after him. as Yujito went out to see the situation. As Naruto turned towards Samui, "You come in?" As Naruto noticed the both of them are still in a rather weak state after their fight. As the clone went through hand sign as he created another wood clone. The clone then moved forward as he picked up Samantha, bridal style. "What are you doing?" she said. "This will get us there more faster," he said. As the other clone then looked at Samui, as she just stood there with the unreadable expression on her face, as the clone didn't know what to do. It looks like she would punch him if he touched her, but it looks like she wouldn't resist at the same time. "I'm gonna pick you up now," he said. "Do what you will," she said. The clone sighed as he walked over and picked her up bridal style. She didn't even show the tint of emotions, as the both clones headed off to get them to safety. Meanwhile, with the real Naruto, he was dashing as fast as he could, as he then heard a primal scream. As he saw someone flying towards him, he quickly caught the person. To his shock, it was Gaara's sister Temari. From the looks on her hand, it looked like something hit her, and she put up her hand in defense, but something hit her rather hard, as she was bruised up badly at her hands. As he placed her calmly down, as she was unconscious. As Naruto arrived to see Sasuke there, as Sasuke's hand was coated in lightning, as he thrust at Gaara, but Gaara smacked him away with sand again, one giant sand arm that sent Sasuke barreling down into the ground. As Naruto noticed a marks on Sasuke's neck, they were half around his body. It seemed like Sasuke was low on chakra. As Gaara leaped forward his claws, intending to tear him apart. But before Gaara could make contact with Sasuke, a brutal kick smashed into his face that sent Gaara sailing as he break through a couple of trees. As Sasuke's vision started to clear a bit. "Naruto? It's gonna be fine now," said Naruto. "I'll take care of this." "No, I can handle this." "Are you crazy?" Naruto said. "This isn't a laughing matter, Sasuke. Stay down, I'll deal with this. Just stay safe." As he leaped off. As Sasuke watched Naruto leap off to handle the threat that he couldn't take care of. Even with all of his training, he still lost. He wanted to release his new ability, but he didn't have the chakra or the strength to do that at the moment, as he just slumped down on the tree. Gaara picked up himself. "So you have come, Uchiha. You dealt with that other tail beast inside the arena. But I am much more unpredictable and wild. And the thing is, I want to kill you. That other one was just throwing around. That was just a match. But I'll rip you to shreds," Gaara said, as his voice sounded demonic and human at the same time. "Why have you become this way?" Naruto said, as Gaara narrowed his eyes at him. Asking me that in the middle of battle? Are you crazy? Or just plain insane like me?" "I just want to know," Naruto said. "Yujito is nothing like this. My mom is nothing like this. But you're just crazy. And I can't understand why. But for the good of the village, I can't allow you to wreak havoc. I must stop you." "Okay, let's see you do that," Gaara said, as he launched forward at Naruto with his claws bared, ready to rip through Naruto's skin. But Naruto stood there until Gaara was close enough. As Gaara arrived, Naruto tilted back as the claws passed his face, as a small piece of his ear was sliced off. As Naruto was facing Gaara, now his body bent, the both of them facing each other, Naruto still standing on the branch. Naruto thrust his arm up as he smashed it into Gaara's gut. Gaara's eyes widened for a bit, as he never expected the punch to be that strong, especially since he was being shielded by his sand armor. As his tail then came around and smacked Naruto off the tree, Naruto's body was sent tumbling as he broke through a couple of tree branches. As Naruto flipped and landed, Naruto then blinked away. As Gaara opened his eyes, Naruto was in front of him, a Rasengan in his palm. "Rasengan," Naruto says, he drive it down, as Gaara extended his hand forward, trying to stop the technique. But it was more stronger than he thought, as the Rasengan teared through his sand, exploding it, sending a piece of it flying away. As Naruto then drop kicked Gaara, as Gaara's body hitting the ground at thud. Before Gaara could get up, Naruto was right in front of him, as he delivered a brutal kick to his face, sending Gaara sailing back. Gaara slowly picked up himself. "Why? Why? What makes you so strong?" he screamed primally. "Why can't I end you? I defeated the other Uchihas. I've slaughtered everyone else who got in my way. But you're standing against me. You don't even have the power I possess. So tell me why." A friend once told me, If you have someone precious to fight for, you will become even stronger. But you, Gaara, you seem to have no one on your side. You even seem to attack your own family. That is why you're nothing but a despicable trash. You're even worse than trash and scum. You're a violent killing machine, which I will stop right now. Bring it then, Gaara said as Naruto leaped towards him. As Naruto sped through hand sign in mid-air, as Gaara fired wind bullets at Naruto, mixing with sand bullets as they came towards him with powerful pressure. As Naruto dodged all of them, Naruto then opened his mouth as a massive torrent of water blast towards Gaara. As Naruto then turned his body as the water came all around the sand. Gaara jumped away, but his movements were becoming sluggish. Meanwhile that was going on, the snakes were all eradicated from the village as the giant dragon ripped through all of them, sending them back where they came from. You have my thanks, Silver, Keiji said. Don't worry, one day you will get as strong as me, and you won't have to rely on my assistance. I told you I wasn't the one that called you, said Keiji. Still have that pride to think that you're better than me, said Silver. As Silver chuckled, see you soon, Keiji, he said, as he poofed away, back to the summoning realm. As Keiji then turned, as he started to help out the rest of the Konoha ninjas with the remaining army that was left. But Konoha was quickly pushing above all of them and destroying the sand and the sound. This invasion was going to come to a big fail because Konoha was winning. Meanwhile, back to the fight, Gaara was sent sailing as his body right now was completely transformed, except he wasn't large, as he still had some of his common sense as well. As Gaara looked upon Naruto, who was standing above him, his tail was missing and his arm was slowly regrowing, and the sand was moving sluggish because of the water. As Gaara was furious, he couldn't take it anymore as he couldn't understand why was he losing. Why was he losing to this inferior being? He was something above him. He was a perfect killing machine, a weapon. How could he be losing? As Naruto landed another devastating kick on Gaara that sent him smashing against a tree. As Naruto landed right in front of Gaara, a shower of sand exploded upon Naruto as it came down with a boom, trying to crush him under the weight, but Naruto sunshined out of the way. As he appeared beside Gaara, Gaara raised his claw hand as he swiped at Naruto, as he got a slice on his chin. Gaara then opened his mouth as he released a sand bullet that shot Naruto in the stomach, that pushed him back and pinned him against a tree. As Naruto collapsed down, he started to pick up himself, but sand tentacles wrapped around his arm and smashed him through the tree and pulled him towards Gaara. Naruto tried to break free, but they held on to him tight as Gaara's hand was extending forward his claws, ready to tear right through his chest. At the last moment, Naruto tilted his body as the claws ripped right through his shoulder. Naruto cried out in pain as Gaara chuckled. Finally, mother gets a taste of your blood, he said, as he then extended his other arm forward. But Naruto raised his foot as he smashed it right into Gaara's face. As Gaara still let go of him, he smashed it again as he infused his feet with chakra, beating it hard as Gaara was knocked back. As Naruto got released as he leaped back, holding on to his bleeding shoulder, but he was slowly healing. I see there is no way of changing your mind, Naruto said. I'm gonna take you down. I'll let the others decide what to do with you. Do you think you can defeat me? Gaara said. Well then, why not try it? As he said that, Naruto vanished in a blur. Gaara spun around as he came face to face with Naruto. He opened his mouth again and sent a sand bullet, but Naruto switched the log as the sand bullet ripped right through the log. As Naruto appeared above Gaara and dropped a dynamic kick on Gaara's shoulder, Gaara felt the entire weight of the kick as the tree branch that he was standing on exploded. Naruto appeared on the ground before Gaara could fall as he landed a devastating kick in Gaara's back. All the force sent Gaara sailing forward. As Naruto created a clone, the clone held onto his hand and thrust him forward, passing Gaara. As Naruto swung on a tree branch and came around, a Rasengan formed in his hand in an instant. Rasengan, he said as he smashed it right into Gaara's gut, breaking through the sand defense as the thing exploded outwards, sending Gaara in a spiral as he smashed into the ground a loud explosion. As Naruto stood there, his shoulder now completely healed, as he huffed slightly, but he still stood tall. As he was going over there, when he heard Gaara laughing, Gaara couldn't move his body as he was on the ground laughing. It doesn't matter, Gaara said. I'll show you the full power of Mother. If I can't walk, she will rip you to threads. As sand exploded out everywhere. As everyone over Konoha saw, the giant beast emerged in the forest. As all of them watched in shock, the people who were in the village could see it from here. As Shikaku's eyes were closed, and he was just looking down as Gaara appeared in his forehead. Now Uchiha, let's see what you do against this. Possum mode, Gaara said, as his body went limp. Suddenly, Shikaku then exploded in laughter. Finally, he says, he snapped his eyes open. I am free! After so long, I can wreak havoc and kill all these puny humans, he said. Meanwhile, inside the barrier, Minato narrowed his eyes as he realized Shikaku has been free, as he dodged a wooden spike from the first Hokage. The right Hokage appeared in brilliant speed, but the second Hokage countered him, as the both of them smashed their fists together. But the right Hokage, with his body infused in lightning and his brute strength, ripped right through the second Hokage's hand. As Orochimaru thrust several kunais and shurikens at Minato, Minato blinked away as he appeared behind Orochimaru with his Purgatory Rasengan already built up. Orochimaru quickly burst into snakes before Minato hit him with that, because that would just eradicate part of his body. But Minato flashed away with the jutsu still in his palm. As the first Kage went through handside, wood style, wood lock in wall, he said, but Minato was too fast for that, as Minato brought down the Rasengan, as he smashed it down before the wall could close, as a loud explosion erupted inside, as Minato flipped back, as Orochimaru then came back, with a smirk on his face. It doesn't matter what you will do, they will just keep on regenerating, and then you will eventually worn out of your chakra and you will die. Suddenly, Kushina appeared back on the scene as she had an ink and brush. What are you doing, Kushina-sama? Asked Yujiro, as she was in her on-full uniform. As Kushina said that she couldn't break the barrier. But how? Yujiro asked. Just watch, Kushina said with a smile, as she started to apply the seal that she needed. And I also know a way to get rid of those two Edo-sensei, she said, as she started to apply the Fuinjutsu seal on the ground. Meanwhile, Naruto looked up at the giant beast above him, as Shikaku then looked down. Oh, so you're the trouble brat that has been messing with Gaara. Well then, I guess it's only right that I tear you apart. After what I've seen, you possess those disgusting ability for Mokitan. After what he did, said Shikaku as he grunted his teeth in anger, remembering being captured by the first Hokage. I will be surely enjoying myself by ripping you to shreds. As Naruto looked up at the giant beast, but he wasn't fazed by this beast. As Naruto activates his Mangekyo Sharingan, this is going to be dangerous, but he will win. But guys, will be ending this episode right here. If you want to see the next part of this, you already know what to do. Like, subscribe, comment down below, and turn that bell notification to stay posted. Remember, share to all of your friends in your social media platform. And also guys, stay in tune for the rest of the what ifs coming your way. And I hope you guys enjoy each and every one of them. But I'm out for now. See you guys soon. Peace.